This is a video for SOS for their leadership program. My name is Philip Qualman, Superintendent, Eagle County Schools. So I'll read the questions and then give you my response. What does a leader look like to you? To me, a leader listens, observes, and learns. Leading comes after those other steps have already been completed. I learned from my dad a long time ago that you have 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth, and you should use them in that ratio. So you should listen, and you should look, observe 4 times, and then you should only speak once. So be observant, learn, watch what's happening around you, and then apply what you've learned to leadership. What is one characteristic all leaders should have? I think all leaders should have compassion. I think a leader needs to understand what others are feeling and what their situations are before they make decisions. So it means being considerate. And again, going back to that first answer, watching, listening, learning what other people think, learning their perspectives, and then apply that and take your own experience as a leader and synthesize that with what others have said to come up with your answer. Do good leaders also know how to follow? Absolutely. Absolutely they do. I think about this in military terms. Great generals didn't start out as great generals, they started out as soldiers. So everybody learns first how to be a good soldier, and then once you've learned that and you earn the trust of those people who work with you, then you get promoted to a leadership role. So I think ultimately a good leader has gone through those steps and built trust and built up a reputation as an effective leader to get to that point. Have you had to make hard decisions as a leader, and how do you deal with those difficult decisions? Well, you're recording this in my home because we're not able to be in our offices or in our schools. So I would say in the last couple of months have been some of the most difficult leadership decisions that I've ever had to make. Closing schools was not something that we took lightly. Keeping kids away from their teachers and keeping teachers out of classrooms with their kids was very challenging. We know that that's where the most effective learning takes place, but going back to that question about the one characteristic is compassion, and we've got to make sure that our staff and our students stay safe, and keeping them at home for these few months was essential to ensure their safety. So how do I deal with those difficult decisions? Well, I have to know that I've listened to all input from all those people who are impacted by the decision, that I've weighed that input with what I feel is appropriate in my heart, and then with all that data collected, can I sleep at night knowing that I've taken into consideration everybody's perspective? Yes, I can. One of our core values is courage. How do you show courage, and what does it mean to you? To me, courage means making decisions sometimes that are not popular. Leaders have to demonstrate courage. Sometimes it's easy to take the actions that everybody else is taking and find shelter in consensus or in the herd mentality. But if you really want to advance your organization, if you really want to do something exceptional or special, you're going to have to think outside of the norm, and courage is essential to doing that. If you were not in your current job, what would your second choice of profession be? Well, I don't know that my profession would change. I think some of the greatest joy that I've ever had professionally is as a classroom teacher. And I think if I wasn't serving in a leadership capacity in an educational organization, that I would still be in the classroom. I love teaching. I love working with kids directly. I love seeing what they can produce and inspiring them to be creative and to watch them grow and to instill in them a belief that they have the capacity to learn and to improve themselves. So if I wasn't doing this job, I would probably still be in the classroom. How do you deal with stress? That's a good question. How do you deal with stress? Well, I try to unplug occasionally. I get constant emails, constant text messages, constant phone calls. So when I get stressed out, I have to put my phone away. I have to turn everything off and go for a walk, go for a run, play guitar, hang out with the people that I love, and try to disconnect from the things that stress me out. So if I can do that and get rooted back in the things that inspire me, it helps me manage my stress. What does success mean to you? I don't have a complicated definition for success. I like the Japanese concept of Kaizen, which is just the concept that you're constantly improving. So today is better than yesterday, and tomorrow is better than today. So if I can end each day thinking about what did I do today and what could I have done a little bit better, if I constantly have that reflective cycle happening in my mind and I bring that to my work and to the people who I work with, then I feel like I can give them constructive feedback so that they improve. They can give me constructive feedback so I improve, and tomorrow is better than today. So constant improvement. What goals did you have to set to get where you are now? I think that for me, I just had to accept challenges when they presented themselves. As a teacher, I had an opportunity to apply for a dean job, and I was intrigued by that challenge and I took it. And then since then, I've consistently had opportunities to step into leadership roles, and I would have been just as happy as a teacher or as an assistant principal or as a principal. But I like to challenge myself, and I like change. I like to constantly challenge myself. So for me, it's about accepting that challenge when it presents itself, instead of shying away from it or getting too comfortable in a single situation. What is a special memory that you have from being in the community? Wow, I don't know if I have just one memory, but I think that some of the most moving moments for me in this community were moments when, related to my job. So the moments like conducting graduations or attending graduations, and I've been to a lot of them, but every single one I go to is a moving ceremony. It's an important, pivotal moment for kids and their families. So I think I've been to, over hundreds probably of graduations in my career, and they're always memorable, and they always make me feel very connected to our community. So to SOS, thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for reaching out to our students, teaching them the core values, keeping them engaged in their community, and helping them make the most of who they can be. And always reach out if you need anything from me. I'm happy to help out and be a part of what your organization does. Thanks. This is Phil Qualman, and I'll talk to you guys later.